Number 2, a toy rocket launched vertically upward from the ground. There you are. Initial velocity, ba ba ba. Height after 2 seconds, ba ba ba, ba 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 ba. Okay. How long will it take for the rocket to return to the ground? If it's coming back to the ground, what do? I plug in 0 for the height. That's exactly it. So 0 equals negative 16t squared plus 128t. Guys, this is a quadratic. You have 4 ways to solve it. One of those ways is factoring. So why wouldn't you just factor out a 16t? I don't know. That's what I would do. Or a negative 16t. It doesn't really matter. I don't know. I'll do whatever. I'll do negative 16t. If I factor that out, that would be a positive t there minus 128 divided by 16 is 8. Once it's factored, you literally just set each factor equal to 0. So negative 16t equals 0, and t minus 8 equals 0. On this side, I just get 0 as my answer, because I just divide both sides by negative 16. Okay, and on this side, I get 8. So which answer do I go with? 8. 0, that's just when it started, right? So it started on the ground, it came back to the ground. That's just the starting time, I don't need that. 8, it took 8 seconds. Part B says, after how many seconds will the rocket be 112 feet above the ground? Where do I put 112? The height, again. It's saying after how many seconds, so I'm solving for t. Don't put 112 in for t. That's not seconds, that's feet. So that goes in for the height. So I just do 112 equals negative 16t squared plus 128t. Guys, it's a quadratic again. The only thing new about the word problems is plugging in the number in for the right variable. Because once you do it, then it's just a quadratic and you just solve it like you already know how. So it's a quadratic. I want to set it equal to 0. So I would minus the 112 as my first step. Because that was the height that I'm trying to solve for. Again, I would divide by a negative 16 because that'll make my life so much easier. So that'd be a negative 8t. 112 divided by 16 is 7 plus 7. All right, so here's a much easier quadratic to deal with. I can factor this. There are factors of 7 that have to be negative 8. What are they? Yes, negative, and they're both negative, right? Negative 7, negative 1. So when I solve this, I get a positive 7 and a positive 1. Miss Savy, which answer do you throw out? Neither of them are negative, though. Guys, they're both good answers. Think about it. I have this object. Here's the ground. It's going to go up. It's going to reach a maximum height, and it's going to come back down. The question was, when will it be 112 feet above the ground? Won't that happen twice? Right? If here's 112 feet, doesn't it go past it once on the way up and then once on the way down? So that it happened twice. So both of them are the right answer, and I would leave both of them. The maximum height will only happen once. This isn't the maximum height. They just want to know, hey, when's it going to go? Haven't you ever watched a movie where, like, they're in some big apartment building, and then someone's outside, and they go up, and they see them out the window, and then they come back down? I'll have to find a movie clip. You know what I'm talking about. They're sitting, you have, like, the old couple and reading the newspaper in their apartment building, and something flies upwards out the window. You know what I'm talking about? And then they look. They don't see anything, and then they go back to the paper, whatever it is. And then the thing comes back down, doesn't it? So there will be 2 times that it passes any given height. So if that's 112, it happens twice. Once at 1 second, once again at 7 seconds. C. How long will it take the rocket to reach its maximum height? right away you should be thinking vertex because it said maximum. You see that word? That means that the answer is something in the vertex, either the x coordinate or the y. Which will this one be? How long will it take the rocket to hit its maximum height? Will it be the x coordinate or the y coordinate? X is the time. Y will be the height. You don't have to follow both because D is what is that maximum height. So both of these answers are solved by finding the vertex. That's the x coordinate, that's the y coordinate. But you have to read, right? They're asking for the highest it ever gets, that's the y coordinate. So for the time it takes to get there, that's the x. Anywho, let's find it. Negative b over 2a. So go back to my original equation. B is 128. So I have negative 128 over 2a, negative 32. Divide those two and I add out 4. So 4 seconds is the answer to C, but then how do I find for D? I take 4 and I plug it back in. So negative 16 times 4 squared plus 128 times 4. I get it 256 feet. Does that make sense?